Hey man, welcome back. Blue Collar Bible Man here again. This is part 3 of what this channel is about. And this is the channel here on YouTube where we protect today's man with God's shield of faith. And we do it proudly. So this is where we get into the heavy stuff. I read Ephesians 6, talking about the whole armor of God in part 2. At the end of part 2. So to pick up from there, I felt like I needed to read that first before I went into statistics, because of the fact that, look, honestly, the proof's in the pudding. We've got so many self-help books. You can go to Goodwill and buy self-help books. I mean, it's everywhere. I'm not saying there's not benefit from them. I listened to a couple of them. I like to listen to books. I like to read too, but it's weird. I remember some details better if I read them, and I remember other details better if I hear them. So I do both. And I've gone through a couple books myself, and they were helpful. That was back in my agnostic days. It did do me some good. But I went light years ahead of that when I came back to God. And I say that to say this. All of this help, and I don't think it's doing as good as the kind of help that men used to have. 6 million men in America have depression. That's what's recorded. That's what is reported. That's what doctors have record of. 6 million men have depression. 77 men have suffered from mental health disorders, and only about 40 of them get help for it. And I did all this research just before I did these videos here on our What Our Channel Is About series. And these next are all from the CDC. The rate of suicide is highest in middle-aged white men. And that says a lot. Honestly, I don't even think race matters on this. It's actually high. I would say the highest demographics of men in America are white, black, and Hispanic or Latino. And they dominate in the suicide rate categories. Of course, I'm sure there's Asian there. There's Pacific Islander, of course, is included. If I've missed something, I'm sorry. But the point of it is, I actually was jotting this stuff down just to have a couple notes and to talk from. And I just stopped. I was like, this is terrible. There is 130 suicides per day. CDC reported that, now this conflicts with another one, and honestly, if the other one is true, it's bad. If this is true, it's bad. They're both bad. CDC said, this is all in 2020, everything. The rate highest in middle-aged white men is in 2020. 130 suicides were in 2020. That's actually went up in the last 2 years. But white males account for 69.68% of suicide deaths in this country. The last statistic that I saw, I was looking up Hispanic and Latino demographics, and they also have an incredibly high suicide rate. That said, that out of the 22% of out of a 22 percentile, 11% of that was Hispanic and Latino men. That's astounding. Mind you, nothing against women. If you're a man, you better respect women. You better If you have a woman, you better be treating her right. I mean, frankly, I'm just going to put it how it is. If you ain't treating her right in today's world, and she's not a godly Christian woman, then you can bet that somebody else will be treating her right eventually. So I would suggest, if you're not treating your wife or girlfriend or significant other right, man, you better get on it. Am I Bible thumping? No. Am I judging you? No. Am I coaching you? Yes. Am I telling you what you need to hear? You bet I am. We have got to do our part as men. The other rate that was really terrible, really sad, in 2020, the age gap of 25 to 34 years of age has an incredibly high suicide rate among African American men. What the heck? What are we doing about it? Sure, I've benefited from it. I've struggled with depression. Men, I can tell you right now, I highly recommend. Wait a second. Let me give a disclaimer here. I'm just a guy. I'm not a licensed professional. If you are in dire straits, seek the help of a professional medical, psychological advice. I'm just a guy in front of a camera in a blue-collar backdrop with a Bible in front of me. I'm just trying to help. I'm not a licensed professional, so take what I say with a grain of salt. Just trying to coach you, trying to be a good Bible coach for you men out there. But the rates are extremely high with African American men as well. Honestly, you can't tell these things apart. Just the demographics kind of fluctuate a little bit of which race is highest. But the age gap is the same. Doesn't matter the race. Y'all, those are terrible statistics. I'm just going to put it to you like that. They're terrible statistics. And it's high time we do something. So what are we going to do? Well, excuse me, I got to take a drink of water. I talk so much that I get really thirsty. That's my wife. I talk a lot. It's one reason why I'm doing this. I guess I have a lot to say, but I hope it's worth something. Hey, and you're welcome to fact check me. I try to make sure I have my facts straight. You are welcome to fact check me anytime that you want. I'm not the end-all be-all. I'm just responding to the heavenly call. So what do we do? What needs to be done for men, blue-collar men? Because I'm of the opinion that could be one of the higher rates. Maybe not. Blue-collar men work for a living. They got the satisfaction of doing something with their hands. They work more construction jobs, and that's obviously going to be middle-aged and slightly upper younger men that work those kind of jobs where you build something, where you got something to show for it. So there's fulfillment there. I don't think you can put a exact brand on who has the trouble. I think it's just across the board, and I'm going to tell you why. If it was anything else, any other country, any other demographic, any other gender, and they were having this much trouble, everyone would be saying that there's a war on that demographic or that gender or that country if another country had these high of suicide rates. So I'm calling it a war. There's a war on men. And part 4, if you come back for that, we're going to talk about what we propose to do about it in our little neck of the woods here on this channel. And as always, if you can't watch part 4 and continue with us just yet, stand firm in the faith. If you're not there, hopefully soon you will be. And act like men. God bless. I'll see you in the next video.